Sybelle Thomson is a fifth-generation auctioneer.
Are you OK back there, pal?
With 3 auction houses across Scotland. Her Edinburgh flagship, one near the borders in the rolling hills in Dumfries, and another on the west coast in Ayr.
At £150.
With her devoted team...
I'm holding £150.
Shiny pens.
You are so good, Caroline.
Son and heir to her auction house empire, Cameron.
I'll be a better driver.
Don't be rude about my driving.
And her beloved dog, Roscoe.
No, Roscoe!
She's on a mission to help customers clear their homes
Oh, lots of items up here.
of curios,
It is known as a darning toadstool. Remember my mother darning tights for me.
heirlooms,
Tea was such an expensive commodity, and so every tea candy had a lock.
and once treasured collections.
Kevin Keegan, now he, I'm sure, had a perm in the 80s, a bit like me.
And make them a tidy little sum come auction day.
£350.
Holy moly.
That was worth the effort.
30 minutes from central Edinburgh, Sybelle's flagship auction house was once a pub, and the building still houses booze from time to time, in the form of expensive, collectible whisky. Auction house manager Gavin is the resident expert in the golden spirit.
I'm going to head over to West Calder,
Oh, good. Yeah.
because there looks to be some good whisky, and I know it's the love of your
okay.
life whisky. Your wife might not agree with that. Roscoe and I'll make tracks. But I've actually asked Scott from Ayr just to swing by and pick you up, and I think we'll need the big wagon.
We'll see you there.
Bye.
Bye, Roscoe. See you later.
Come on, Roscoe.
Sybelle goes ahead of Gavin and Scott on the short 40-minute drive to today's clearance. She's heading to meet Vicky and her best friend Avril, who's been helping Vicky declutter the home she shared with her late husband, Dave.
Dave and I met when we were both 40, and it's our second marriages.
Vicky and Dave are a magical couple. You're making the face. Yeah, we're.
After 23 years of marriage, the couple received some difficult news.
Dave and I went to Barbados for our 70th birthdays, and he had a small lump in his leg, and when we came back, they discovered it was a sarcoma. Unfortunately, it went to his brain. He had a brain tumour. It was only a few weeks after that he actually died. Dave was quiet. Dave was very, very patient. Everybody thought Dave was lovely, a lovely man. He's talking about him.
I know.
Sorry.
Surrounded by so many of her late husband's things, including some beloved bottles of whisky, Vicky is finding it difficult to move on.
He didn't let me know he was collecting anything. I knew nothing. But there seems to be an awful lot of watches, cameras, some books. There's little cars, there's toys, mid-century toys.
Removals expert Scott has picked up Gavin and is following closely behind Sybelle.
How are you two getting on?
Ah, we're fine. On the road. Sale room, is it, Sybelle, that this is all going to?
It's all going to go to Edinburgh because that's where we sell a lot of the collector's items. And Gavin would never forgive me if I sent whisky to any of the other sale rooms.
No, I've got to see it. I've got to try it.
Vicky is hoping Sybelle will provide the help she needs to move forward.
I would like Sybelle to be able to let me know if there's any things that anyone can use. It's the next step through the grieving process, really. The cathartic, I think the word is.
Right, Roscoe, we've got here. Another day ahead of us. Oh, this is good timing, Roscoe. Here are the lads. Everybody you like. Morning, you two.
Morning.
If you don't mind, Gavin, I think we should just go in together.
Come on then, Roscoe.
Ah, Sybelle.
Is it all right if we come in?
Of course.
Wasting no time, Sybelle embarks on a tour of the 3-bedroom bungalow.
In here we have a lot of these camera equipment.
Lots in here.
Dave was self-employed. He did some camera work.
Right, Gavin. All the camera equipment out of here.
Oh, fantastic.
Great start. The team are off.
I'm just going to leave you to get on with it.
I'd like you to look at this.
Whew. A lot.
The spare room is full of Dave's things, including a collection of books and children's annuals.
This is a really nice vintage book collection. Obviously a boys' collection, just looking at the subject matter. We've got Topper, the Sea Adventures, the book for boys. Oh, and the big book of football champions. Now, these children's albums, people do collect them now. You know, these are all fairly general books, what we would term vintage books, well-loved, but quite well looked after as well. But they've definitely been read. I'd group this collection all as one lot. But they'll actually do OK at auction, probably sort of £30 to £50.
And actually, there's one more place I'd like to show you.
No problem to me.
Here we go.
Crumbs! What a lot of stuff you've in here.
You're telling me? I've asked Dave for many years to clear out the garage. So some of the stuff I didn't know was there. He didn't know was there.
So are you happy if we just have a good rummage in here and see what we can find and take the saleable items to auction?
Rummage away, by all means.
You never know what we might uncover.
Correct.
Time to bring in the big guns.
Right, you ready to do some work now?
Yes.
Lots in the garage to get. Help yourself. If you find anything really interesting, give Gavin or I a shout.
No probs.
While Scott takes on the garage, Gavin's moved on to the spare room.
There's magazines, there's football cards. It had so many little collections.
Including a stash of toy cars.
So we've got lots of different brands in here. We've got Corgi, we've got Dinky, we've got Chad Valley. I'll go through them, but I dare say there's over £100 worth there. Them all catalogued and looked through.
Excellent.
All right.
Out in the garage, while Scott packs, Sybelle's enjoying a rummage.
It's rather a nicely made box. Oh, isn't that brilliant? What a lovely... It's a stationery box, but it's totally plain, really simple, straight lines. You look at it, I half expected to find some tools in it, but instead it's all fitted out for your stationery. And it's even got the original inkwells. Put your pens there and you've got everything there. It looks simple, but it's really complicated in design. It's just beautifully made. So a craftsman's made this. Probably looking at the construction dates from sort of 1930s. At auction, I'd probably say £30 to £50.
So what have we got left in here?
That was the best bit. Unbelievable. You never see this, OK?
Yeah.
Ah, Gavin has found the whiskey.
On this little table here, there's £3 worth of whiskey. Now, this bottle here, it's 18 years old, right? 50, 60 quid is what that retailed at. Now worth £2 to a collector.
That's mental.
Absolutely crazy, isn't it?
That's nuts.
And the reason is that Macallan is the most collected brand. It's the most desirable brand that's going in the whiskey world. It's almost exclusively, or used to be exclusively, matured in sherry oak casks.
I didn't know that.
Which gives it its sherried flavour.
Yeah.
It gives it that lovely sweet flavour. It suits the eastern palate rather than the home palate.
Yeah.
You think about what we drink here, it tends to be quite peaty whiskey.
Yeah. Aye.
No peat ever touches Macallan
No.
at all, or very
Not at
little.
all.
As the lads carefully pack the whiskey away, Sybelle is still rummaging around the garage finds.
Oh, that's an interesting gent's wristwatch. It's a nice Breitling Cadet. Nice watch. That watch should make £300 to £500. What's also really nice is it's got its paperwork with it. It's really important to watch collectors of modern watches that they actually have hopefully the correct box, but maybe more importantly, the paperwork, the guarantee, because we're going back to this provenance, which is really important. But of course, before we actually had wristwatches, these were common every day. Now, these originally were the preserve of the really wealthy, but it actually wasn't until the Industrial Revolution and the beginning of the running of trains in America that it became the preserve of everybody to have pocket watches.
There might be more valuable ones in this box, so Sybelle will have to get them properly looked at back at the auction house. Over the next few hours, Gavin finds more bits and bobs for the auction.
Should probably keep you two apart, stop you fighting.
And so does Sybelle.
Oh, I've seen something I like already.
Nothing gets past them. It's all down to their combined 52 years of experience of working in the business. After a full day's work and hundreds of items loaded, the van is looking fuller. And Vicky's home a little emptier.
Wow. Wow. That is fantastic.
Oh, God.
It's me.
You can wander about now.
Wow. Thank you so much.
Absolutely our pleasure, and as long as we've, you know, been a help to you.
You certainly have.
What a difference.
I know. I was really surprised to see how much actually ended up going on the van. I don't know where Dave got half of it. I think I may feel a bit emotional seeing it going under the hammer.
And I think we've done a good job for Vicky. And it's not about the money for her. It's really about trying to move on, move Dave's things on, and just for her to make changes so she can get on with the rest of her life.
Scott and Gavin have arrived at the Edinburgh Auction House with their West Calder spoils. And valuer Scott is on hand to help unload and have a sneaky peek at some of the items. And a collection takes his fancy.
When have you seen marbles that good? I did not play with marbles like that as a kid.
The game of marbles is an old one, having been played by the ancient Egyptians, the Romans, and in medieval Britain.
I have no idea what they're worth, but there's got to be a collector out there for them.
Oh, there has to be. There's a huge market for marbles, but I've never seen any this size.
The mass manufacture of glass marbles came about in 1846 in Germany with the invention of marble scissors and gained popularity in the US and worldwide in the early 1900s.
It's just that like swirling, stripy decoration, isn't it?
It reminds me of latitudinal glass,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
the Italian
Yeah,
spiral
spot
one.
Over the next few weeks, everything from Vicky's is fully researched. Scott's interest has been piqued by a men's wristwatch on a stainless steel bracelet he found in the box of watches from Dave's garage.
It's potentially quite a special watch.
It has sort of a name I recognise because it's got a Hua, but it doesn't have a tag to it.
Sybelle's son Cameron is keen to pick up some valuation tips.
That's because this is before Tag Heuer
Yeah.
joined forces. 1985.
Right.
Tag bought a majority share in the Heuer brand.
Okay.
It was Edward Heuer who started Tag in the mid-19th century when he patented a special little oscillating pin that allows a chronograph to sync in with the second hand without altering the watch's timekeeping.
Okay.
But this oscillating pin allowed it to keep time more accurately than any other watch out there.
So what would Nat be looking at making at auction?
I'd put it in at 400 to 600, but I think it could make 4 figures.
Wow, something to keep an eye on come auction day. 5 weeks after Sybelle left Vicky's with 85 lots of her late husband's collectibles, that day has arrived.
Here we go.
I know, I know.
Let the fun begin. Here we go. There's somebody loved his car.
It did.
Sybelle and her team collected 4 lots of assorted toy cars from Vicky's house
Look at the size of these.
I know, they're enormous.
and 6 lots of assorted cameras and camcorders.
I always remember him carrying that.
How do you feel? Just all right?
Sad.
I know, but they were taking up a lot of space.
sad, but he always had a camera in his hand.
And I know, I always remember him having the camera.
Morning.
Good morning.
Lovely to see you both again. How does it feel to see it all now?
It feels fine. It's better today than it was on the clear-out day because things are going to go to people that are more appreciative of them.
Any in particular you feel particularly sad to be parting with?
Well, the whisky, for instance, I know that he collected that for a long time. The little miniatures mean something as well.
But there's been quite a lot of interest in the miniatures. In all the whisky,
Yeah.
I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. You two grab a seat and Roscoe and I will catch up with you later.
We will.
Great.
Yes.
Enjoy the auction.
Today could be an emotional experience for Vicky. Good job her old pal Avril is here.
You've been such a support, thank
But
you.
no, it's been great just to, an experience for me as well. It's been good for the two of us. I
Yes,
think.
yes.
It's just old biddies.
Well, these biddies won't have to wait any longer. While son Cameron settles in alongside Ross to monitor online bids, and David is all set for porter duty, Sybelle mounts the steps to her trusty rostrum. Are we sitting comfortably?
Morning.
Morning, Sybelle.
First up for the budding writers out there, it's the early 20th century portable oak writing desk.
You can start straight in at 10, 12, 15, 18, 22, 5, 8, 30 pounds. Anyone else going on at 30, 32? The room's out and I'm selling it at 32. Anyone else going on at 32 pounds?
It makes its estimate.
Oh, no.
But Vicky is hoping for bigger windfalls. Let's see how the lot of 37 hand-blown glass marbles does.
And I can start at 22, 5, 8, 32, 5, 8. Anyone else going on? The bids with Cameron, make no mistake, at 38 pounds.
A great result. Are we on a roll? What's next? 4 Airfix model kits. Can they drive up the tally?
Straight in at 35, 45, 55, 65, 75, 85, 95.
There are 6 bidders fighting for these online.
100, 110, 120, 130. Who am I missing in the room at 130, 140, 150, 160, 170? Anyone else going on at 100, 170, 180, at 180 pounds?
That's more like it. Sybelle then puts the Corgi die-cast machinery carrier under her gavel, followed by a lot of die-cast dinky toys, before moving on to a lot of 22 play-worn Corgi toy cars. What will this little bunch get?
65, 75, 85, 95, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150. Can I tempt you, sir? 150, 160, just in time, Cameron. 170. Any advance on 170, 180, 190, at 190.
Wow.
An awesome amount. That's more than £8 per car. Next up, all Dave's beloved cameras go under Sybelle's gavel. Bringing in a modest amount.
Wouldn't have known what to do with them, to be perfectly honest.
Will the sale of the collection of children's books and annuals get Vicky excited again?
And straight in at 25, 28, 30, 2, 5, 8, 40, 2, 5, 8, 50, 5, 65, 75, 80, 85, 90, 100, 110, 120. For all the albums at 130. Anyone else going on at £130?
Sybelle makes it look like child's play. But now, something just for grown-ups. Gavin's favourite, the Macallan Whisky. This bottle is the director's edition.
You might need a dram after today.
Mine too.
Can we get it now?
Can start straight in from the United States at
United States.
140, 150, 160.
The US bidders are keeping Cameron busy.
170, 180, 190, 200, 220.
220.
Back in the UK at 220.
But there's a rival in the room.
£220. 240, he's back in. 240, we have to remember the time difference. 240, 240. It's going across the Atlantic at 240 at £240.
Oh, wow.
Another good result. And this little beauty will be sailing off to the States.
Excellent.
That's what you want it to.
But now for the jewel in Dave's whiskey crown, the 1982 Macallan. Could this get even more than the director's edition?
And I've lots of bids on it, and I'm going to start straight in at £1,000.
She wasn't expecting that.
1,200, 1,300, 1,400, 1,500, 1,600,
Maybe fine.
1,700,
Those big spending Americans are getting in on this one too.
1,900, 2,000. Anyone else going on at 2,000 at £2,000?
A fantastic result. Sybelle is on fire, and she hasn't even started on the watches. She rattles through two of them, including the old pocket watch,
£35
and the Breitling.
at £700.
Before turning her attention to the Hoya Carrera timepiece with stainless steel bezel.
Very nice this, and I can start straight in at £500.
Oh, it's a high start.
550, 600, 650, 700, 750, 800. We've just jumped to 1,500.
Wow, somebody really wants this watch.
1,600, 1,700.
I'm gobsmacked.
1,800,
So are Gavin and Cameron, Vicky.
1,900, 2,000, 2,2, 2,4, 2,6, 2,8, 3,000, 3,2, 3,006, at 3,008, 4,000, at 4,000, selling on the internet at £4,000.
An astounding result for the garage find.
I'm absolutely stunned.
Vicky has said goodbye to her late husband's things. It's been a tough journey, but now all that's left is to find out what kind of nest egg he's left her.
Have you enjoyed your day?
I was kind of anxious, I must admit. And the only bad moment was when the whiskey came up. But that was a surprise.
Oh, well, your husband definitely had good taste. He bought good whiskey.
Yes, he loved it, yeah.
So have you any idea of what sort of figure you were looking for?
No, I have not got a clue.
So if I said it'd come to over 5,000, what would you think?
Possibly.
Well, it's actually come to just over 10,000 that you're taking home.
What?
£10,244.
Good heavens, good grief. I'm absolutely shocked.
I'm glad you paid for tea last night.
She might pay for it tonight at this rate.
Oh, wow. Love it.
That's amazing. I'm absolutely stunned, absolutely shell-shocked. Thrilled that everything is going to somebody who will appreciate it.
At the auction house in Ayr, Sybelle has a team of specialists to help with the thousands of items coming through their doors each year, including Pippa, who has been with the company for 1.5 years and is their musical instrument expert.
Morning, Pippa.
Morning.
What are you looking at today?
Just looking at this violin that's come in. German, late 19th century. Should do okay.
Good.
So where are you off to? Where's your next travels?
Roscoe and I are off to Northumberland. We're off to meet Roy and Ulla and I believe a 2-year-old son called Daniel. So it sounds a nice job, and actually I believe there might be some musical instruments for you. I've seen a few photos and there seems to be a doll of some sort.
Oh, love a doll. Love a doll.
I don't know, there's something about porcelain-headed dolls that I'm not that keen on.
Oh, it'd be interesting. We'll have a good time.
I'm sure I will. Roscoe and I are going to head off and hopefully we'll bring back some instruments for you and we'll see you soon.
It's a 3.5-hour journey southeast across the border to Roy and Ulla's home in Blackburn for Sybelle and Roscoe today. That's if she makes it there, of course. Roy Washington's 4-bed house is stuffed with family items from raising his 3 sons from his first marriage.
I became a single parent when the kids were quite young, and I brought the boys up in this house on my own.
Then, in 2020, Roy met Ula Ulensky at the printing company where they both worked, and they clicked.
I think we have similar sense of humor.
You say things which make me laugh, and
You make me laugh all the time, because I don't understand you.
it's probably a good thing, actually.
Before long, they had a child together, and everything changed for the family, who now have new priorities.
This is our son, Daniel, who's 2 years old.
Yes.
Who's half English, half Polish, by the way. The naughty half is Polish. We want to move house probably early next year because we want to get into a different catchment area for another school, which we hope to get Daniel into. I'll be devastated to leave this house. But it's not about me anymore, it's not about my memories, it's all about Daniel now.
Are you all right with you, Roscoe?
Sybelle has gone on ahead of removals expert Scott and valuer, the other Scott, who knows a thing or two about antiques and collectibles.
Favourite thing to do is rummaging.
Hi guys, are you having a good run down?
Yeah.
There's something you guys will love. There is a loft.
Excellent.
You can argue about who's going up it first.
Roy's loft is crammed full, 30 years worth of full.
We'll probably have to downsize considerably to get a house in this particular area. There's that much stuff that I don't want to get rid of that I actually built a shed as well at the side of the house to put more stuff in. And where does it end? We'd like Sybelle, who's an expert, to come along and assess what we've got.
Sit. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Sybelle.
Lovely to meet you, Roy.
Oh, come in and make yourself comfortable.
Will do.
This way.
Oh, thank you. So, how can I help you today?
Over the years, I've accumulated a lot of stuff that we need to shed, if you like, and hopefully you'll find something that's of interest to you or your clientele.
That's absolutely perfect.
All the stuff that I've had over the years has sort of condensed itself into the loft, really. Unfortunately, we're going to have to clamber up there and have
I love lofts. It's where we find the hidden treasures. I'm going to get my coat off and we're going to make a start.
Hope you've had your porridge this morning, Sybelle. The only way is up.
Time to get my sleeve rolled up.
Sybelle gets stuck in, rummaging for hidden treasures. And it's not long before she spots... something.
What have I found here? She looks as if she's had a bit of a hard life.
This doll was here long before I arrived.
She's known as a bisque-headed doll. But I'll tell you a bit about her. Despite her head being detached, her head is in really good condition. She was probably made sort of end of the 19th century.
Right.
She might be slightly later than that. She's not going to make a great deal at auction because of her condition,
Yeah.
but, you know, she'll make 10, 20 pounds. Something else that might spook you out, this is probably human hair.
Yeah, I was just afraid you might say that.
Yeah.
Right.
Not a bad start. Is there anything else less disturbing up here?
There might be something in this box that may be of interest to you. It's just a box of stuff that's from my Navy days.
So how long did you serve?
Well, I did 10 years. I left in '84, which was 2 years after the Falklands conflict. One of the things I've kept hold of is what might look like to anybody else as a piece of scrap metal. The conflict was over, the Falklands had been regained, and we actually managed to get ashore. There were all sorts of bits of wrecked aircraft, and this is a piece of an Argentine Pucara aircraft.
What a great piece of history.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
As to whether there's any demand, I'm happy to find out.
Something worth Sybelle investigating further, back at the auction house. And with Roy back downstairs to help Ula with little Daniel, it's up to her to rummage around for herself.
A trumpet. I'm holding it as if I could play you all a tune.
My eldest son, he did one lesson and didn't like it, and it's been sat in the loft ever since.
I don't know how you make a sound out of these.
Oof! I bet Roy and Ula are glad they're downstairs.
Right, I'm going to leave that to the experts.
Music expert Pippa can have a proper look at this back at the auction house later.
Oh, they're pretty heavy. I always thought I would look cool in one of these. This is a model Porsche. Porsches were made in Germany, still are today, of course, and I believe the first one was manufactured in 1948. Unfortunately, this is just a child's one. Probably dates from 1980s, 90s. Well worth getting it out the attic and seeing where we end up with it.
Well, Sybelle, you're in luck, as the boys are just around the corner.
Did you have a good run down?
Yeah, it was good. Nice day for it.
I think the majority of stuff seems to be up in the attic. It's not very big. So I think we should bring some of the boxes down and then decide what we're taking to auction.
Okay.
With over 3 decades of items to sort through, the team split up, with the 2 Scots taking the attic.
These could be okay. Some toys, action men. I've seen them selling for quite a bit of money. Certainly the older ones. Since I've been working in the auction house, I've learnt that the collectible market for toys is unbelievable. I've never seen a spaceman, action man. So there could be some hidden treasures here. Hercule plate rack.
Aye.
Yeah, it's a shame it's the darker colour.
What do you think that's worth then?
Oh, I don't know, maybe 30 to 50 pounds.
As the boys start emptying the loft, Sybelle decides to check out that shed Roy was talking about.
Believe it or not, underneath there is an old church pew. I don't know if you can see it or not. There
But
it
I
is.
can see it.
It's full of sawdust and all sorts of things.
First important question, does it have an end? The problem with a lot of church pews is that the one end was attached to the wall.
Well, not only does it have one end, it has 2 ends.
That's what we want. So how have you ended up with this lovely old pew in your garage?
Probably about 20 years ago, I saw that a church was being demolished and they were selling off antiquities from within the church. At the time, I was looking for furniture for the dining room, and we bought it.
A lovely thing, well worth the effort digging it out, and really saleable at auction. The pew is going to make such a difference. You know, it could fetch £200 on a good day. Well worth the effort digging it out.
With the pew loaded onto the van, the team's day is done.
See you both soon.
Yes, you will.
Great.
Yep.
The boys are heading back to Ayr with 26 lots for the auction. And Roy and Ula's home is looking a little sparser.
So what do you think?
I think it's amazing. I'm surprised at how much space there is up here.
I can't believe last time I looked here, it was like full. You couldn't get in.
So this is a good start for your move.
This is where we wanted to be, so thank you very much.
Well, it's been a real pleasure to meet you both, and I really look forward to seeing you at the auction in Ayr. We'll see you soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Have
Bye.
a safe journey. Bye-bye. Quite a lot of things have got emotional attachments, but a lot of them are up in that loft, hardly ever used, hardly ever brought out. So really, they're depriving somebody else from maybe getting pleasure from owning them.
I think the pew's amazing, but I think some of the things in the attic will struggle. I just hope they're happy when they get the final proceeds.
After nearly 200 miles on the road, Roy and Ula's items have made it back to the Ayr Auction House, where manager Michael is waiting to inspect them.
What have you got for us?
Loads of things.
Oh, you've got a car here. Oh, I think that's a Porsche 911 Targa, isn't it? Every man's dream machine, that one. Right, that's one for the auction.
There are 26 lots here to research and process. It's a serious business running an auction house.
Sybelle's got me a new company car.
Well, most of the time, honestly. With everything inside, Pippa can get stuck into that trumpet.
What's your thoughts on this?
It's from Boozy & Hawkes. It's a good student instrument, a starter instrument. They were a British firm from the 1930s. They were market leaders.
What kind of value do you expect?
So unlike violins and guitars, brass instruments don't necessarily increase in value with age.
Right.
They actually probably decrease, to be honest with you. Brass instruments, people want the latest technology, the lighter materials, the more responsive keywork. But I mean, I think this will probably make about £50 at auction.
Once Sybelle gets back, she's straight on the computer to further research that bit of Argentinian fighter plane.
Well, one thing in this job, I never know what I'm going to find in a house. I've got some provenance from the owner, which is so important. He actually believes it was from the Pucara fighter jet that was shot down during the conflict. Really unusual. They are, I think, pretty scarce. But, you know, doing some bit of research online and things, they do turn up at auction. So there is a collector's market for them. We've just got to find it and market it. And somebody will definitely come out the woodwork for it. I'm going to estimate it at £50 to £80 for the sale. Yeah, hopefully it should do well.
3 weeks after visiting them at their home, Roy and Ula and little Daniel have arrived to see their items go under the gavel.
So much stuff.
With a few minutes to spare, they've just time to say a heartfelt goodbye to some of them. Well, except one of them, maybe.
And that doll, look at the doll. I won't be sorry to see the back of that, to be honest. That's a little bit of history that I've got to, you know, mixed feelings about letting go, but there'll be somebody out there, hopefully, that appreciates that little bird thing.
Morning, Greg.
Good morning, Sybelle. Good morning.
And how's wee Daniel?
He's quiet at the moment, yeah.
And how do you feel now? You see it all?
Well, the first thing we think is that we didn't realise there's so much stuff.
There's been actually quite a lot of interest in this toy car.
Has there really?
Yes. It's rather fun, so
right.
I think hopefully it should motor away today. But anyway, the auction's about to start, so I'll
Great.
catch up with you later.
OK, thank you. Thank you.
With 524 lots due to go under her gavel, Sybelle and the team have a busy day ahead. Kieran and Pippa are preparing to field online bidders, while John is on porter duty. The wait is over. The auction is about to begin.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, this is us, Ula. This is us. Come on.
Morning, Roy. Morning, Ula. Hello, Daniel. He's engrossed.
First up is the church pew.
This very nice 19th century pitch pine pew. Who'd like to start me at £100 for it?
No takers at 100.
50.
Sybelle lowers the starting price.
50 bid, 50 bid. Straight in at 50. 60.
And it does the trick.
5, 70, 5, 80, 5, 90, 5, 100. Selling on the internet at 100. Can I tempt you to another, anybody, at 100? £100. That was worth the effort.
An OK start, but can Sybelle do better with the model Porsche?
Hours of fun in this model child's car. Straight in at 30 bid, 30 bid, 32, 35, 38, 40, 2, 5, 50.
My mum brought this over from America.
Let's see it race away at 60. Can I tempt anybody else at 60? 5, 65, 70, at £70.
Gone to one lucky local buyer on the internet.
So, Tom.
Wow.
I bet Michael's jealous. Next is the Urkel wall-mounted plate rack that the two Scots found in the loft.
Start at 20 bid, 22, 25, 30, 32, 35.
Oh, it's got to be worth more than that, surely.
38, 40.
Don't worry, Roy, it's creeping up.
£40. 48. I'm out on commission at 48. Selling it on the screen at £48.
Doing well.
Up next, will the trumpet blow everyone away?
Can start straight in at 28 bid, 28, 30, 32, 35.
It belonged to one of Roy's kids.
I took one lesson and didn't like it.
40.
So it's never been used.
Never been used, I'm hearing, at 40, at 42. Anyone else going on at £42?
Not bad, just a whisker short of its estimate. How will Roy's piece of an Argentinian aircraft do? Because that's next.
fascinating piece of social history. Who'd like to start, mate? 30? 30 bid, 30 bid, 35, 38, 40.
Interest from a man in the room.
42, 45, 48, 50, 5, 55, 55.
He's got competition from an online bidder.
60. Where'd you find another at 65, 70, 75, 80, 80 pounds. Anyone else going on at 80?
Somebody wants this.
90, 95, 95. Can I tempt anybody else in the room at 95? You're out, sir, at 95. You'll never see another one. You'll regret it when you get home. I'm going to sell it at 95. Anyone else going on at 95 pounds?
Gone to the internet bidder.
That's going to somebody who appreciates what it is and what it means, and I'm happy about that.
Can the next lot do some damage?
The collection of Action Men figures, accessories.
A selection of Hasbro action men with varied accessories, including cars and action outfits.
All you could ever want. At 20, to make a start, they are well played with. 20 bid, 20 bid, 20 bid, 22, 25, 28, 30, 32, 35, 38, 40, 40 pounds. Anyone else going on at 40 pounds to bidder 1?
That's good.
Yeah.
After selling off a further 20 of Roy and Ula's things, there's just one lot left.
Oh my God.
No, the doll.
She hasn't spoken to us while she's been here or moved.
Yet.
Not yet.
The continental-headed doll, and the internet's running away with it. It's 10, 12, 15, 18, 22, 25.
The first time I saw this doll, the eyes were sat looking back at me.
Be willing the bidders on at 35, 38, 40. Anyone else going on at 40 for the doll? At 40 pounds.
And with the doll off to oversee a new family, the auction is over. It's been an electric sale, with all sorts flying off to new homes.
Shall we go and see Sybelle?
Yeah, let's go.
Come on, let's go.
Roy and Ula wanted to give up these things to help with the downsize, but a little extra cash sweetens the deal too. How much has Sybelle made them?
Oh, hi, Sybelle.
Hi.
Hiya.
Blimey, you work hard.
Sorry, Roscoe wishes to say hello.
Hiya, Roscoe.
So overall, how do you think it's gone?
We think it's gone better than we expected.
The spooky doll. There were a lot of bidders for it.
Yeah, there were.
I wondered
We were
if she'd
surprised at
cast a spell saying, I need a new home.
Well, maybe. She might end up coming back to us, though. That's what we heard about. Find her own way back.
So actually, overall, I hope you were pleased, because actually I'm personally pleased. It came to £592.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I thought it's about 300.
And all that was sat in the loft gathering dust or in the garage.
It's amazing.
So it's absolutely amazing, yeah.
So
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Our absolute pleasure. Safe trip. You're going to sleep all the way home back to Blackburn.
We hope so.
I think you probably will.